Hope you're all doing well. So I wanted to chat with you about face palettes, specifically eye and face palettes. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I wanted to chat about them, how I feel about them, because I have some strong opinions, and then give you some recommendations on my favorites and, you know, what brands I feel as though do them well. So when I refer to a face palette, there's different things going on, but I'm specifically talking about one of two things. A face palette that gives you eye and face, so gives you eyeshadows along with some color products, so a blush, highlighter, contour, bronzer kind of situation. Or a palette that is just all face products, but you might have multiple tones of bronzer, multiple shades of blush, a few highlights. So something that you can do all of your color products pretty much with. So those are like the palettes I'm talking about. And I'll mention, you know, some that are a little outside that realm, but that's mainly what I'm talking about. Something that has both eyeshadow and face products in it, or enough face products that they could double as eyeshadow just with all the tones in there, if that makes sense. So as much as I love putting on makeup and I love filtering through my collection and picking out piece by piece, there is a place, and there's a special place in my heart for a palette that kind of does all that for you and kind of gives you that. And so there is there's a place for them. I think a lot of your average makeup users, not the crazy ones like us, but your average makeup users will appreciate that, you know, to have everything in one spot where there's taking away that bit of, you know, confusion or that bit of like decision fatigue. And yeah, you have your eyeshadows there, you have your blush, your bronzer, your highlight. Usually those shades complement each other well, so you don't have to think about what blush should I be wearing with this eyeshadow and such, you know, kind of thing. Kind of like when you're accessorizing an outfit versus having just a dress where it's just one piece, you know? So I do really appreciate a good face palette. However, as a brown person, the market is not, well, the makeup market, we already know in terms of, you know, inclusivity, but it's a thorn in my butt with these palettes because I feel like they are really great in concept, but the brands just kind of, they don't execute it well, and they don't execute it well for a few different reasons. I spoke about a long time ago, I don't remember, but if I ever was to start my own makeup line, that is not something that like I'm actively working towards. That's something like if I hit the lottery kind of thing. I would start, one of my first products would be a face palette, and it would be an eye and face palette, and it would have at least 5 variations, at least 5, to cater to different groups of skin tones. And that is not to say that's all it would be. But I feel as though if you're putting out a face palette, because this is supposed to go on your face, you know, it's not like an eyeshadow palette where pretty much anyone can wear most eyeshadows, but minus the ashy ones, of course. But this is, you know, this skin tone plays far more important of a role in deciding what to put in your face palette than an eyeshadow palette. Because the darkest of darkest skin tones can wear pastel eyeshadows, you know, and it still looks great, can be artistic and things like that. But with like contour shades and bronzer shades and things like that, you're just not gonna get universal. You're not gonna get that. And so I feel like when a brand puts out a face palette, that kind of lets you know who they really, you know, what they really care about, what they're really doing. And if you're putting it out, like I said, you need to have multiple shade ranges. You need to have at least a fair, a light, a medium, a deep, and a rich. If you're not going to put out 5, I just don't, you know, like, you try your best, you know, but still make your best be good, because these a little rough. I am picky about them. Also, if you're going to put eyeshadows in there, I think either they all matte or there's a better balance of matte and shimmer. Do not give me all shimmer eyeshadows with a face palette, or do not give, like, I can do all matte, and this is just a personal preference, but I do prefer a little variation, because you're saying, hey, all this stuff goes together. You should not have to reach for anything anything like another eyeshadow or another blush. You shouldn't have to reach for anything to complement this. So you should make sure it is cohesive, and you should have a brow highlight shade or a, you know, a lighter shade and then a deeper shade. They shouldn't all just be like mid-tones. And I've seen that as well. So, and of course, this conversation dialogue, please let me know how you feel down below. Like I said, I have really strong opinions about it. And I want to share with you some of my favorites and where I think it's done well, but all of these that I'm going to mention have room for improvement. And so let's get started. We're going to start with the one I'm wearing today. I like the Natasha Denona face palettes. We're going to talk about pros and cons to them, but the ones I'm going to show you, all the ones I'm going to show you I like, and but I'm going to tell you what can be done better because, of course. So this is the Glam palette. I'm wearing this today. This is her Glam palette. She released this in 2 shades. She released it in light and dark. Look at, yeah, it's 2. A light and dark. This is the dark one. This is the dark one. Now this palette, the reason why I like it, you get away with it a little bit more. It's not containing a bronzer. It's not containing a bronzer or a contour type of shade. Also, to define like my face palettes, I would like a bronzer or contour, blush, and highlight. Because I wear all 3. I know everyone doesn't wear all 3. Most of the people I know wear blush or highlight, but not really contour or bronzer. And I get that. But like for my personal preference, I would like all 3. And this one just has 2. So that also, you can also get away with having less, I don't recommend it, but having less variations because bronzer and contour are really weird. Like plenty of shades can wear this blush. You can sheer it out. You get plenty of skin tones. But to find a contour where that can happen, it's a little bit tougher. So to eliminate that problem, you know, remove that. So, okay. This plus this combination of textures. These are powder shadows. These are creams, and they have a little window over top, which is really cute. Like, oh, that's super cute. But like I said, what I would do better is I would definitely add a lighter eyeshadow in here because I use this today and I don't really have like a brow highlight. And this tells you where they suggest you put them. Outer corner, transition, smoke, inner corner, crease. I guess I'm just used to seeing like a lid or, you know. So yeah, like I like the quality of this. I like how it looks. I like the tones they chose, but this could also have a lighter shade. But to eliminate that bronze, if you're not really a bronze person, like a bronzer or a contour person, sure. I think it's pretty, but I did have to add, you know, contour and things like that. And then her other one is the Love Face palette, and I don't know if this came in 2 shades. Forgive me. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it came in 2 shades. So this is something that's like, hey, only a certain group of people can use this. Now, I do see a lighter shade. I would use that pink as a brow highlight, like a lighter matte in this one. I think the color range is much better in this one. And then the blush and highlight, again, are fine. But if this is the only one they're releasing, but it's also themed. It's also like love, so you're gonna do the pinks and stuff. It's also very, very nichely themed, and I do get that. So that's why I'm kind of giving it a slide because this is the specific color scheme they want to use. And if they change the colors to make them deeper or different things like that, then it's no longer the Love palette. So, okay, I get it. And this was only came out in 1. But if you're going to release like the Glam, where you're just doing a general glam thing, and you have a light, you have a dark, you can expand that a little bit more. But I do like the texture, and I do like the shades and everything in here, but it could have been a little bit better, just a little bit. I'm going from like my least, no, that's not my least favorite, right? I don't have an order. I don't have an order, but I am going to talk about them last. I'm just trying to sort what I want to talk about next. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's do this. So the next one that I really enjoyed, again, this one came out in just 2. This was the Milani face palette. Look at the name. All Inclusive Eye, Cheek, and Face Palette. Now, I don't know if all inclusive means the products, because you have an eye, cheek, and a face, like, or skin tone, because it's not. This one is Is it called medium deep or whatever? But this is the darkest one. I love this palette, okay? So the things that it has going right for it, you have bronzer, you have 2 blushes in here, you have a highlight, you have 3 shadows, 2 of which are matte. So you can get a complete look, you know, you could do one more, you know, that's just me being picky. But this is the deepest, okay? The lighter one obviously is lighter, but this bronzer barely works for me, okay? So I'm trying to figure out what skin tone you have in mind, brands, when you're creating these, like 1 or 2 of them. And I get it, we can't cater to everyone, but it's like, I'm just saying, I would have preferred this to be a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. Love this blush shade. Love that there's a darker blush and a lighter blush. Love that. And yeah, but I really enjoyed this one. I like this one actually in terms of the colors. I like it more than the Natasha Denona one. But again, it could have been a little bit better, and I wish they would have released more of these, or even like seasonal, you know, just a few more, okay? Okay. The next one, the next one that has potential, it has potential, but I felt as though the quality was there, but I felt like they missed the mark in a couple places, and that's my Nars, the Nars Laguna Ultimate Face Palette 2. This is another one that came in 2 sets, light and dark, or whatever you want to call it, 1 and 2. Quality is fine. I've used it on video. It's great, actually. Nars quality is wonderful. However, they give you 2 bronzers, not a blush. There's no blush in here. We know Nars blushes are bomb. 2 bronzers. I feel like with this limited real estate, why would you put 2 bronzers? It is called the Laguna. It is called the Laguna, and Laguna is their famous bronzer. So, okay. All right. Whatever. All right. But you see, if I'm going to travel with this, I still need to grab a blush. Like, I want to be able to travel with this and just have my mascara and my foundation, concealer, powder situation. So, like, but then I would still have to grab a color product, you know, if I wanted to wear blush. Quality is there. Also, the eyeshadows, I talked about this, there's only 1 matte. And it is a mid-tone matte, but you got 3 metallics in here. This is called the Laguna. 3 metallics in here. Very, very limited real estate. And I just feel like they made poor choices on both the face products and the eye products. But again, quality-wise, I love it. And I love this bronzer. What shade is this bronzer? Laguna 6 or Laguna 8? Laguna 8, the darker one. I have their cream bronzer, and I have a mini of their powder bronzer. This is a really nice bronzer, and that's why I bought this, because I knew this bronzer was going to work. So it seems like I'm picking these apart, doesn't it? Because I do like them. These are the ones I actually like. But again, feel like they missed the mark. Try to be super objective here, but also this is my preferences. So that's the Nars. If you like Laguna bronzer, there you go. Then the next ones I want to share, I think, are the best at what I own in my collection. And I'm also going to, they're the best in my collection. And then I have 3 here that I'm going to talk about. And then I'm going to talk about a brand that I just think does it well, but yeah. So this one from Morphe. This is the face palette, just called face palette. It's the 8D, called Deep Glam. They came out with at least 2 of these. Again, I feel like you should have more. But let me show you this Deep Glam. You get 8 shades in here. You get 8 shades in here. You get 3, and they're labeled bronzer. Then you have brightener. So 3 bronzers, 2 highlighters, 2 blushes, and what's called a brightener. This palette is too deep for me. And the reason why I like it is because, you know, this is probably the deepest face palette I own right now. And so I don't think we needed both of those shades, but whatever. And like this brightener, I like my brightener a little bit lighter, but they thought of that and they put that in there. You can use these for eyeshadows, but the shade range, I think this, I don't see face palettes just going this deep. And so I really wanted to talk about this one. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. You have 2 matte blushes. You have a, 2 matte blushes. You have a, what is this? What is the word I'm looking for? Very metallic highlighter. And I like this palette, and I think the tones in here work for people deeper than me. This is going to be the deepest one you have. So I just wanted to share that one. I like that. But they haven't released I don't think many face palettes after that. So, yeah. This next one, this is a cream palette. And this is my Makeup Forever HD Skin cream palette. I think they released more since then. This one, what is the shade? Is it 2? Again, they've only released 2, but you're getting 12 colors in here. And the reason why I wanted to talk, this is like one of the best because the colors are cream. You can mix them. This is definitely an artistry palette. So this is definitely going to go for a couple skin tones. And I do appreciate that. Like I said, it comes in a lighter. I wish they had a few more. Always, but if you're going to do only 1 or 2 variations of your face palette, the more shades you put in it, the better. That makes more sense to me. But you have highlighter, color corrector, a few concealer shades, contour shades, or you can do spot conceal. You can do what you like. You have blush and highlight. And so I think this really, if you're a cream person, I don't use this one as much because I just forget to reach for it, but it is in my shop, my stash. But if you are cream, and I have a full video of me using this on my full face. If you enjoy creams, I think this one's really good. This is an artistry palette, so it's meant to, you know, you mix things together and experiment and really do, you know, really underpaint. People underpaint with this, and so I think this is really good. The caveat is it's $85. We want things that are also affordable. The most affordable one here is the Milani, and this is $15. That's another reason why I think it's really great. The Morphe one is about $25. And then the Natasha Denona is around the $60 mark, as well as the Nars. So that's also something. The Milani and Morphe, I had to throw them in because they are affordable. They're not the most affordable. We have one more. But most of these full face palettes that are coming out from the are from the higher end brands. You don't see it much in the drugstore. But anyway, I do recommend this one, especially if you're into creams. And you can set everything with a translucent powder. But this is the deepest option, just so you know. Just so you know. And then finally, this is one that I hate that I like. I hate that I like it, but I have to talk about it. It is what it is. This is another like $90 situation. And this is the Hourglass one. This has another caveat. Every year, or since I've been paying attention, Hourglass will release these face palettes, ambient lighting palettes. And I just bought this one last year. They have the 3 out this year. And they come out with at least 3. And it's like a light, medium, deep situation. This is the deepest one. Now, I love the texture and the formula of these powders. If you're familiar with Hourglass, they are wonderful. Soft, just airbrush, soft focus. I love the way this feels. However, this is the deepest one. This shade here, I set my face with it. This is not a contour for me. It's not a bronzer for me. It might be for someone lighter than me. So at $90, I am on the edge of this not being dark enough. Okay? I love the quality. I love the full look. Beautiful soft focus. The highlighters. The blush, I love all the shades of blush. I do. I really do. And I can say that and still criticize it for what it is. Just letting you know. Hold on. I got my hands dirty. Yeah, and I can still criticize it for what it is. But if you love Hourglass and you're lighter than me, this is your whole face. This is your whole, like your setting. And I think the other ones, so this is a matte. Yeah, this is like an under eye setting powder. If you wanted to be highlight, blush. I set my face with this, but bronzer, not deep enough. And this is the deepest. And like brands, you know, because there's not many brands putting out 3 palettes, you know, with 6 shades in there, it seems like Hourglass is like, okay, being inclusive. Hourglass is not an inclusive brand, but being inclusive and like, oh, they're doing something. I'm not even talking about the price. Price is exuberant, but Hourglass is all like it's in line with how much they charge for everything else. But it makes it seem like, oh, well, there are inclusive face palettes out there. There are inclusive ones. Look at Hourglass. Look at Nars. And it's like, really, when you take a step back, they're putting out 2 shades and they're barely giving you shades deep enough. Are they really, you know, inclusive? And again, with a face palette, I'm not saying you got to have 30, the same amount as your foundations, but I think you need to have enough to cover the general kind of normalized understanding of skin tones, you know, fair, light, like what I said before. But the quality, this is probably my favorite in terms of just quality, look, feel of the bottles of the products. I just gotta give it to. I gotta give it to them. Am I gonna buy the one from this year? No. If it goes on sale, maybe, and I like the tones, but no, I didn't buy the one. I think this was 2 years ago. I don't think I bought this last year, 2023. I think I bought it in 2022. But yeah. Now, finally, I want to get into a brand that does, I believe, they're not perfect, but they do face products, face palettes right, but they piss me off the most. And that, my friends, where's the other one? Let me get the damn, where is it? I just had, hold on. Okay. That, my friends, is Makeup Revolution. All right? Revolution Beauty, whatever you want to call it. Let me talk about Makeup Revolution. They have so many products. They're very fast. They're very fast fashion almost. Collab after collab, like ColourPop, collab after collab after collab. Things are going in and out of stock, in and out of continuation very, very quickly. So it is very hard to keep up. But what I recommend to you is if you're in the market for a face palette, just browse the site. Once in a while. They have a category for face palette. Browse the site, see what's there. Even if it's a collab and you're not into that, but check, because they put them out frequently with a lot of collections. They usually put out some sort of face palette. And I just want to give you some, and they usually put out multiple. And when I say multiple, 5, 6 different colors. I want to show you some examples. And the reason why it's frustrating is because they're usually tied to collabs. They're usually just not their core line of products where these face palettes exist and you could just buy them at any time. They're usually part of some sort of collab or collection. But let me just give you an example. This is their brand. I think this is their brand, Makeup Obsession. Yeah, they have like daughter brands and like different branches of brands. You can get this on their website. But this is I got this one at TJ Maxx. This is their warm-up eyeshadow, pressed pigment, face kind of thing. A little bit of everything. And look at the tones in here. This is probably the least impressive. Look at the tones in here. That's a super deep contour. Blush, highlight. Like this is like the least effort they've put into one. And I still think this is really good. Now, the collabs, for example, they collabed with Tammy. She's an influencer. This was many years ago. And they had her, it's like tropical paradise themed collection. I love the palette. They have a beautiful palette with her as well. And they came out with 2 face palettes. These were like 15 bucks. I'm trying to get the show you the lighter one and the deeper one. Deep dark. So this one's called Deep. I don't know if there were any more, but this is Deep. So usually in brands, this is Deep, and usually if brands are putting out a deep one, this is about as deep as you're gonna go. This is, you get a blush, you get a highlight, and you get 2, you get like a bronzer shade, this is more warm, and then a contour, just a little cooler. And you get this. And these work for me. I can do my face with these. Again, I like a contour, a blush, and a highlight at least. I love that you have a contour and a bronzer. Blush and highlight, and super pigmented, wonderful, yeah, wonderful quality. Everything is matte except the highlighter. So they did that really well. And then do you want better? They had a deep dark. They had an even darker one. Tammy is a woman of color, by the way, so that also has something to do with it. They have an even darker one. This is Deep Dark. Let me show you in comparison. Dark, Deep Dark. You see that? That is getting a little bit better in terms of inclusivity here. Deep Dark, same thing. Super pigmented, lovely shades. But this was a collab. This was a collab, and now it's done. Okay? And it's just like, Come on. Like, those are wonderful. That eyeshadow palette, that was one of my favorite products from Makeup Revolution. Love that. Another example, they put out a collab with Patricia Bright, and her palette was really good too. Bright and colorful palette. And then they came out with 4 of these little guys. Now these are face palettes. They're a little smaller, travel friendly. I love these. They came out with 4 of them, and I got the 2 darkest. So 4 different skin tones. Fair, light, medium, what are they called? Okay, yeah, they don't have the skin tone range, but think of it like that. 4 lightest to darkest. And so, and I travel with these. So this is the next to the deepest. You have a blush, a highlight, and a bronzer. Okay, I've hit pan on this. On a travel face palette. This, I will, quick trip, I will grab this because I know all 3 of these and they work together, they complement each other, and I would grab these and go. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. And then the deepest one. Like, look at this. Look at the deeper tones in here. And I'm sure they could keep going with the depth, but like this was 2 of 4. They put out 4 of these, which is getting better. They put out 4 of these, but they were part of a collab. And so now they're gone. And I'm just like, you can do this on your own. Now, they do. I don't feel as though it's as good of a quality. So let me show you, for example, their Relove line. Their Relove line, they have palettes, nothing's more than $5, I think. These little palettes are about $3. So this is a contour palette, and it's in bronze, it's called Bronze Sugar. This is one of maybe like 5 or 6, which again, I'm telling you guys, they do it the best. They'll drop like 5 or 6. These palettes are $3, and you have, that says contour, that's not a contour, but you have 3 shades in here. That could be a blush. And then look how deep that contour goes. I don't think this is the deepest one. But you have an attempt. An attempt. They've done a little bit better. They come out with concealer palettes. I have a few in the Relove collection. They came up with concealer corrector palettes where it's like 6 shades. You got corrector and concealer. And they came out with like 5 or 6 of them. Those are still available in their Relove line. Their blush and little blush and highlight duos, like the little e.l.f. duo dupes, if you will, 5 or 6 of those. So Revolution Beauty is I have to put the top brand when it comes to putting out face palettes in the most range of shades. They just came out with this palette. This is called the Facelift. This is their newer, it's like the Icon line. This is the Facelift palette, and this is in Tan Deep. I think they have 3 of these. One's a blush. They have multiple blush palettes, but this is in Tan Deep, and you have some darkness in here. These are 2 creams, but this is a cream contour, way too dark for me. And then you have the 2, this is a contour. You can do bronzer or contour with that, blush and highlight. So they go pretty deep, and they always release multiple ones. I think, yeah, like this is the Cheek Lift. This is just one of the 2 blush palettes. Oh, I can't even get it open. One of the 2 blush palettes that they have. And so they always release with multiple skin tones in mind. Are they perfect? No, because my main critique is like the best ones are part of collab. Now, I just did a look with this one. I just ordered, this is the Revolution True Love face palette. This came in like 3 different tones as well. And this is the darkest. I love this little guy. You got 4 shadows in here. You got a blush, bronzer, contour, and then a highlight. I love this. I thought it was beautiful. I lusted after this for a while. It went out of stock, and I was like, well, that's gone. And then I was just browsing on their website, and it came back in stock, and I was like, now is my time. I really like this, but this is like limited stock. On the website, it was like going away. And I'm just like, keep this and push out more and push them out for different seasons. Like, I just don't understand. People would buy them. I don't know. I don't even know the core point of this video. I like face palettes. I wish they were better. And here are the brands that are making an attempt and the ones I like, but here's where everyone can do better. And I'll leave it at that. Remember the days where if you're not a makeup artist, that's who I'm talking to. Makeup artists still do this all the time. But where we would depot our stuff in our Z palette and have our own little palette, our blush, our bronzer and things like that. I'm not that big into depotting anymore, but for travel and stuff, that's always an option. Maybe we need to get back into that. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in this video, you know to leave it down below. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.